Hey guys, welcome. I'm Jenna, and today we're going to be doing this fall look using the Broken Jewels palette from DD's Signature. Looking at this palette and that burnt, just beautiful burnt reddish matte was calling to me, and then I just wanted to come in here and do a fall look using this palette. And I thought it'd be fun to come in and start doing videos occasionally and sharing stories with you guys. So maybe it's kind of like a get to know me better type of thing. But today I'm going to let you guys know why I started my makeup channel. And I would also love to hear your guys' makeup stories, like how you guys got into makeup, or have you always been into makeup? Do you use makeup for therapy? Let me know in the comments. Let's chat about it. All right, let's get into this look. All right, I'm going to use the Refer 27 and I'm going to go into Toxic Gleam. All right, so makeup really truly has been therapy for me over the years. Just kind of been a way for me to get away from reality for just a little bit. Like, not saying, not dealing with your problems or, nothing like that, but just for a half hour, an hour a day, just to get away from everything and have a little clarity, little sane time. So when I was pregnant with my son, and I have one child, I have my son, but I also have a niece and a nephew. They're like my bonus kids. So if I ever say like the kids, that's usually what I mean. I was pregnant with my son, and my grandmother that raised me had a stroke, and it was pretty bad. Like the day of the stroke, she literally could not speak. And if you knew my grandmother, that probably felt like the end of the world to her, because she was a very vocal, very outspoken woman. You never questioned what she was thinking, because she always told you whether you asked or not. But she did work her way back from the stroke. She's a very very strong minded woman, and she didn't completely heal from it, but she lived on her own up until the last 3 weeks of her life, when she came to stay with us. We had hospice come in, which was very helpful, and they would even say they couldn't believe how strong her mentality was. And but during the 10 years, right after I had my son, and she had like therapy that she had to go to, and so I was trying to raise my son. I do have my husband to help me, which I'm so grateful for, because I don't know how I would have been able to do everything by myself. But I was raising my son, and then just like taking care of her. Not, I can't say like it was like a full time job. It was just like, taking her to doctor's appointments, eventually doing her grocery shopping for her, making sure her bills got paid, just like stuff like that. Now I'm going to go to the Sydney Grace E05 into Burnt Clay. So, and then just like helping her around, her house and her property, and just, just helping out and raising a kid. And then I also had my house to take care of, and my husband, just daily life. But in that decade, like, I completely lost myself because I was trying to take care of so many people. I wasn't taking the time to take care of myself or do anything for myself. Back then, my me time was like collapsing on the couch and decompressing for a little bit. That was me time back then, and I was like so grateful for that time. So around 2018, I actually started watching makeup tutorials, and I always wore makeup, but it was basic. It wasn't like, anything extravagant. It was the basic. And I've always loved to be creative. I used to paint and just any type of artistic stuff. I've always loved, and I just feel like a paintbrush is close to an eyeshadow brush. And that's like when I fell in love with eyeshadow. I just absolutely loved it. I That's all I would watch. I did not watch TV anymore. I didn't watch movies. I literally just engulfed myself in makeup tutorials and eyeshadow tutorials. So I started playing around with makeup, and back then, like, we did not have extra money. we had like a little kid. We would help my grandmother out when we could, and just everyday expenses. So it just got to the point where I would, out of each pay period, I would just take $10 and like buy me something new at the drugstore. And I think that's kind of like where my fondness and love for drugstore is because that is what got me started in my makeup journey, adding stuff to my collection, getting to try new stuff, and I just always will have a special place for a drugstore in my heart. I'm going to use a dose of colors brush and go into Twilight Gem. And this was when drugstore was like actually inexpensive. Like Elf was like $1 to $5. Do you guys remember that? But this was when I really started getting into makeup, and it just really gave me a place to escape reality for a while. It gave me a place where if I didn't have like a lot of time to, sometimes when you have crafts and that, it takes up a lot of time. Like if I were to paint, I would probably end up having, I'd be painting on my table. I'd have all these supplies out on the table because, I'm not going to really want to have to take everything in and out all the time. And then to have the time to really sit there and have the quiet time to be able to do that, it just wasn't feasible back then. So that's why the makeup just really, it just like kind of, I don't know if I could say it saved me, but it just really gave me an outlet to create and express myself. Even if it was just for like 15-30 minutes a day, it just was enough. And then to be able to start getting better at it. And um, I don't know why, like the makeup, it's not that I personally don't wear makeup to like make myself look better. I use it as like a creative outlet, but then being able to see your creativity come through like with an eyeshadow, and it really does though make you feel a little better. Then in 2021, my grandmother, she got really sick. She got cancer, and she passed away in December of 2021. And that was the hardest time of my life. My grandmother was like because she raised me, she was like my mom. And I always felt like, sometimes there's just like people in your life that are meant to be there. Like she was like one of my soulmates that was supposed to be in my life, and I just missed her so much, and it was so hard. And then all right, I'm gonna go into the Repro 2, and I'm gonna go into a little bit of the white, and then we're gonna try mixing it with the burnt clay to see how that is. And then she passed away, and my family and I were hoping to buy her property, but she unfortunately did not have a will, so we had to go through probate, and that was another stressful time. I think it was a complete 2 years by the time it was start and finished. And it was very stressful because it's kind of like something that's out of your control. You're there, you have to go and, fill out your papers and hand them in and wait until they tell you what they need next and just keep doing the process. And it was a very stressful time. And this was actually when I started my channel. It was about 9 months, I would say, after my grandma passed away. And we had started probate. And I don't know, I just needed something to kind of, again, take my mind off of stuff and let me escape for a little while. And that is definitely what this channel has done for me. But I never imagined that I would get this much joy out of it. Like meeting all you guys and talking to you guys in the comments. And I don't know. I just feel so, so grateful for each and every one of you. And I just want you guys to know that. All right, I'm going to go into Golden Sharp. But because I did create this for a place to escape, that's kind of what I realized, that was what I wanted my channel to be, was a place for people to come and escape a little bit, just to, get away from the world and the bills and just anything that you're going through. There's like so much going on, people are, having to take care of their elderly relatives or raise kids or raise grandkids. And especially the way the economy is, people are just, just trying to make it right now, and just everything else going on in life. I just want this to be a place where people can come and just get away from everything for a little while and be like just like a little escape. All right, now I'm going to go into Rose Ruin, because especially like if you're taking care of other people, it's not easy to be taking care of so many people in your life, but it is easy for us not to take care of ourselves. That's the first thing that usually we let go. And I just think that's kind of like human nature, when there's people in our lives that we love and we want to take care of them. That, and I don't think that's bad. I mean, I think it is good, sometimes just to put ourselves aside sometimes. But at the same time, we do need to take time for ourselves, because I can remember, oh my gosh, so many times I felt so overwhelmed. So if you guys, you can always talk to me about anything in the comments. I always want this place, I always want this channel to be a place where you can come and just relax and then just talk about anything that you need to get off your chest. I know I used to play a game online. It was a heyday. And there were people on there. We actually became so good friends. There's some I haven't played it in like so long, in so many years. But we would always say that sometimes it's easier to get on and talk to people that aren't there, like in your everyday real life, because they're not going to judge you sometimes, like maybe people will in your real life, or they just don't. They're mainly there just to listen. You know what I'm saying? Like to listen and maybe give a little advice. So you guys are just always welcome to chat here if you're going through stuff. That's the purpose of this video, is to let you know that that's what this channel is for, is to come to escape. And if you need someone to chat with, then we're always here for each other in the comments. All right, I'm super happy with the way this has turned out so far. And what we're going to do for an inner corner. Is this too deep? It's really pretty. I really like that gold too, but I think I really want to save this for like oh, that's so pretty. That's gorgeous. This just like screams Thanksgiving to me. I just want to save it for like a Thanksgiving look. So I think I'm gonna go back in with the green. I think that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, I'm just gonna share it out since it's for the inner corner. All right, now let's look for some blush. All right, I'm gonna go with the Blend Bunny Bare Cheeks palette. And I'm gonna go in with In the Buff. All right, gosh, I was thinking about going in with this one, but I don't know, is that gonna be too much? Oh, we'll just stick with this one, is just a touch. I don't want it getting too crazy today. These shimmers are gorgeous. This one right here, it just shifts. It's beautiful. Like, it's like a brown, rose, gold, orange. All right, guys, I'm going to finish this look up and I'll be right back. All right, guys, this is the final look. I love this. I just love the way those shimmers just blend into each other. Let me tell you what I finished off with. For the lower lash line, right up until, I say the 2/3, I went in with Flare from Moya Cosmetics. And then for the inner third, I went in with Electra, also from Moya Cosmetics. Went in with Saucy Toffee from Alani for lip liner. Went in with Voyeur, I believe that's how you say it, from Melt. I can never remember how to say this one. And then topped it with M60 from Mauve. And then I do have some palette suggestions if you would like to get a similar look. The first one is Sumerian Sunset from Adept. You have like these, this nice murky green here, this deeper green, and then I would just switch it out with this orange. But the shades in here are so beautiful. They just scream fall. And I think, especially with this orange one, you could really get a similar look. So pretty. Next one is Groovy Garden from Ensley. You have some of these like clay type shades up here and then some greens to play with. Next one is Whispering Woods from Ensley. And then I think this green would be so good along with this. I know it's not a clay, but I think it would still give it a similar look. And then like with this shade, and then maybe, I don't know about that one, or a lighter one in the front. I don't know, that one probably could work too. Cosmic Dreamer. You have these nice grungy greens in here. And then I would just do like the kind of brownish green or maybe one of the dark ones. And then you have this beautiful orange or this green in here. And the last one is Desert Bloom from Cindy Grace. And so it has like these beautiful clay shades in here. It has a green, and then you have like this beautiful shimmer, which could go there. And then it's not technically a gold, but I think that would look so pretty. All right, guys, again, I would love to hear your makeup stories, how you got into makeup. Have you always been into makeup? And then also, if you guys ever need anybody to talk to, we're here in the chats. I hope to see you guys in the next video. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.